Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a new series that I am launching. And this series is a very special series called Expert Interviews with Ken. This is a series where I basically interview other people who are experts in their own fields, whatever their profession is, and we get a chance to hear their story and what it is they're doing for people. So with that, let's dive into today's guest on Expert Interviews with Ken. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode with Expert Interviews with Ken. And today on the show, I have Angel as my special guest today. And she is an entrepreneur, humanitarian advocate, and founder of Angelz Services, a nonprofit evolving from its origins as Angelz Beauty. What began as an in-home beauty care for Angel's homebound grandfather has grown into a vision for a nationwide organization serving elderly and disabled individuals unable to leave their homes. Currently, in its early stages, Angelz Services is building a faith-based community platform to provide beauty, wellness, and connection to those in need. Angel is passionate about creating a nonprofit that not only supports clients but also fosters a fair and supportive environment for service providers, employees, and volunteers. Rooted in faith and compassion, Angel aims to inspire others to embrace small beginnings and in the power of community to create meaningful change. Welcome, Angel. So excited to have you on today's show. I want to unpack that whole thing. So I want you to just dive in and tell me all the things. Tell your story. Why did you get involved in this? Why is it your passion? Let's unpack all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say thank you for having me here, and I'm glad to be here,
You're
and
welcome.
thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so starting off, I want to say this journey started about 7 years ago. I was born and raised in California, Tuolumne County, a little town called Sonora. Um, and I'm honestly just Little Miss Nobody from nowhere. But when I was finishing up my
Okay.
cosmetology training, I was getting ready to go into discipleship training, but I had decided to service my grandfather, who was about 93 years old
Hmm.
around that time. His name is Roy Huckabee. He was a pastor for several years, and because of him, I was born and raised in the church, and uh, he introduced me to God and my faith, and so that's kind of where that seed was planted. But at that time, I decided to just cut his hair at home because he wasn't really able to drive anymore, and if he was driving, he was starting to get confused, and it was just becoming unsafe for him. And I knew what his independence meant to him.
Hmm.
He wanted to hang on to his independence for as long as he can, as much as he possibly can. And so I kind of just brought it to him and be like, hey, I just want to be able to bless you and do this for you. And I'd really appreciate the time with you. And so in that aspect, he let me do it. And one day when I was cutting his hair, um, I was kind of having like a side conversation with God. And I was just like, God, how many people could benefit from these services? Like, I was just trying to imagine the need. And when I had asked that question, God gave me like little snippets, little visions of just different people
Hmm.
in their situations, just imagining the physical ailment and just like um how hard it is. Like, he gave me a heart and an understanding of how hard it is for these people to really just get up in the morning to face the day. The energy it takes just for that alone. Um, a lot of the time, they don't want to get up and face the day because they're suffering from depression and loneliness and just all of these different things. And things that we are so used to doing, getting up, getting dressed, feeding ourselves, walking out the door, going on our drive and getting to work and home. Like it's just so normal for us. And we're so accustomed to it that we don't stop and think like life would look like if we didn't have that. So kind of God just showed me the heart for that, and that just started the snowball. I started providing these services for other people in my county. I was only able to do it part time at the time, and part time ever since because I'm also a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling my kids and
Mm.
all of that. But um, I was just able to bring these services to other individuals in my area, and I was able to witness the need firsthand, and just having that connection with these clients and seeing them from the beginning to the end, uh, just how their lives had turned around at that point. And even though they didn't get physically better, I could see an increase in their mental state, and um, just the burden lifting off their shoulders of not feeling completely isolated anymore, and just have like a weekly or a consistent visitor really enlightens them and gives them something to look forward to. And so I spent a couple years doing that in California, and then 4 years ago I moved up to Alaska. And at first, when I first moved to Alaska, I wasn't even sure if I was going to get my hairstylist license here, um, because at that time the vision had actually died down a little bit because I thought that because I moved, I just gave it up altogether. And God just brought it back to me, and He really pressed it on my heart. And so then by the grace of God, I was able to get my hairstylist license here in Alaska.
Mm.
Um, and so I was able to start providing the services again. And again, just seeing the need for it here. And I've just been reaching out to other people. And a lot of the time, I get met with, oh, I can't afford it. They live on a very strict income, earning sometimes less than $10,000 a year, and it doesn't allow room for extra expenses as simple as getting a haircut or getting their nails done and having just the basic hygienic needs being met, um, that most people get once a month or twice a month. That's kind of what is starting the plan of starting this into a nonprofit and getting the community involved, is because now we have to rely on the community to support these people. And my biggest thing is I don't want to use government grants, because government grants come from people's taxes. And a lot of the time, people don't even want to be paying taxes in the first place. And so I feel like it's almost stealing from people who don't have a choice in where their money goes to. And I really want people to want to help. Um, I want it to be their choice to give to this organization and give to the mission because they believe in it and they have a reason to connect with it. And so, um, over the past 7 years, God has really spoken over my life about bringing unity, reconnecting people, connecting hearts, and healing the division that has come across our country. And I think this is part of that in itself, is just bridging the gap between the younger generation and getting everybody involved and not relying on the government,
Mm.
um, but really doing it as one village. So that's really the heart of the mission, is to not just cater to the elderly and disabled who really need this, but also just getting everybody on board and involved as much as possible.
How many donors have you been able to gather together for the cause?
Um, At this point, none. Because, well, other than a couple of family members, of course, because I'm still in project stage. I'm not officially a 501(c)(3) yet, and a lot of people are waiting for it to be tax exempt. And so a lot of people believe in the mission, but they're just waiting for the official
And
nonprofit
how
status.
long is that going to be before that goes through?
Hopefully not too long. I am looking at hiring my co-founders the first week of January.
Oh,
Hopefully.
awesome.
I just had a meeting with the person that I'm going to be hiring as the co-founder CFO. And he seems really on board with it. He's going to take the next couple weeks to really pray about it, make sure that this is what God wants him to do, because this is a faith-driven organization that we really are relying on God to move through. So he really wants to make sure that this is what God wants him to do, um, which I wholeheartedly want.
Absolutely.
Uh, so yeah, I will be touching base with my co-founders the first week of January, and if they are a go, then I will be able to move forward with the filing process, and we'll be hiring the rest of the board members. Hint, hint, if anybody's watching this and wants to get involved, reach out. Just saying. But yeah, hiring the rest of the board members, and we are going to be taking the first year and every year, but we are going to be doing a lot of community involvement, doing a lot of fundraising activities and events, and getting our hands dirty per se, and actually getting in the face of the community, and not just being behind a screen
Mm,
begging people for donations, but really getting involved with the community. Like I said, bridging the gap between the younger generation and the older generation. So in order to do that, we have to be in their face, I feel like, um, and reaching them in every aspect that we can. I think having a presence, a physical presence,
mhm.
rather than just online, is going to speak volumes of getting everybody involved. So that's what we're going to be doing. And then once we reach our fundraising goal, we will be able to launch full scale, and um, no stopping us there.
That is so awesome. It's really awesome that you've got a really simple, heartfelt thing that happened with your grandfather that is now turning into something that's a huge vision and something that a lot of people need. And I think that's amazing. Now, you mentioned this kind of started with you just cutting hair and stuff like that. What are some of the other specific services that you would provide people with their needs? Like, what does it look like for traveling? What does it look like grocery store stuff? What does all that look like? What are some of the specifics that you would currently provide for people now?
Yeah, so the whole point is to cater to the mind, body, and spirit. So knowing my expertise in the beauty side of it, like that's where it started, but I wanted to open the door to be able to take on service providers that also cater to other aspects of wellness. With the beauty services, having the basic needs of a haircut, nail trimming. Me and my husband did this neurotherapy, Christian-based neurotherapy, and it's called RSM, retracing sequence method. And it's a neurotherapy that discovers your traumas and your negative belief systems on all levels. So through childhood, through your adulthood, but also before and during the womb. So while you're in the belly and before, because in the word it says that we are with God, and then he knits us in the womb, and then we go through our life. And so sometimes the traumas and the negative belief systems we have does not only come from our childhood, but it can also come from our DNA from our ancestors,
Mm.
which is crazy. And so after we did our therapy, it really helped our marriage become better and stronger. And I am a firm believer in this therapy, and so I would really like to include it and be able to offer it to other individuals at an affordable rate. And just a lot of different services, get nutritionists involved that can visit people on a monthly basis to make them a plan for their dietary needs, and massage therapy, physical therapy, estheticians, dermatologists, podiatrist, but an ankle doctor. Getting the dermatologist and the podiatrist involved. They are a medical professional, but they would be providing non surgical services, obviously. And then getting uh, the community involved in a sense of having like uh, visitors
Hmm.
for these clients so that they can come in and just spend time with them, give them a listening ear and, just somebody to sit down and have a cup of coffee. And I've also been contemplating on offering personal shopper options. I know that Instacart and DoorDash do this, and so I wouldn't necessarily know what that would look like as far as like not copyright, but like just if there's a legal aspect to being able to do that or not. But that way they could pick somebody and stick with them rather than hiring different people who may or may
Hmm.
not have been screened and may or may not be trusted, and um being able to have that choice of if they don't like somebody, they can choose somebody else and stick with them and not just have somebody random all the time. The way that I'm looking at it is that the basic needs would be free, and then there would be different packages for different services at a low cost. And therefore, basic needs are being met. But if they want more services like hair color, which isn't necessarily a need, but a want in some cases, they could get that at a low cost. So, yeah, I hope that answers that question.
No, that does, and actually more so. I think that's just absolutely amazing. This is what's really amazing about it is just so how well thought out all of the details are on this. I think this is going to be a really, really great service that you're offering to people. Because I know that there's a lot of elderly out there, especially that they get older, they've got no one around them, they've got no family, and they are completely alone and just trying to make it by themselves. They've got nobody there to talk to, nobody there to hold them accountable for XYZ and all the things. And I think what you have got going on and the vision that you have is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I'm like thinking, I'm like going, okay, when I get that age, there's a possibility that I may not have anybody around me either. And I would want someone of your with your services to definitely be there. That's why it's so heartwarming and so heartfelt what God has called you to do. I think that's just absolutely amazing. And the fact that you're getting together people that will fund it and donate it, and that way, for the most part, for the clients, for the most part, services are free. But then if they want the extra things, then that's a an affordable extra cost. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really, like I said, my grandfather really helped strike this desire and this mission. But my grandfather and my grandmother, they had seven kids, and
Wow.
they fostered and adopted within a lifespan of 80 something kids. They themselves were givers, and they loved people in the best way that they absolutely could. And um, because of that, I kind of have family all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's great. But my grandfather, he was so used to his house being full, being loud, being just full of love, and just always somebody being there. And after my grandmother died, and he was without her for about 7 years, 8 years, I believe. Um, the house grew quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and, and he didn't know what to do with himself. And I mean, he relied on the Lord. He prayed every night. And oftentimes I would hear him crying in his bedroom, just pleading for God to take him because he was done. He didn't want to be around anymore. He didn't want to be here without my grandmother. And which is totally understandable. They were married for their basically their entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
So just seeing his loneliness firsthand, it broke my heart, but in the best way because it really set me on my path. And I just know that even though there's their dignity and their independence, they still need people.
Yes.
Um,
Well, Angel, I love your story and I love what you're doing. I think God's going to cause that thing to explode like crazy. And the fact that you've already got like a board of advisors already together, you've got somebody that's going to come in and help you with the finances and all of that. You are definitely planning like a CEO. So that is
Thank
that
you. I
is just
appreciate that.
you're welcome. You're welcome. That is awesome. Such a heartwarming thing. And the story of your grandfather is also very, very heartwarming. Sad in some points, but heartwarming in others. So good on you. So that's just awesome. So Angel, in wrapping up, is there anything else you want to share to anybody listening?
Um, I would just encourage people to go to the website and check us out and pre-register. Like, if you have a heart in this and if you want to get involved, reach out and let us know, because having that support, even like now, is really, really important, because it's really going to just give us a firm foundation to stand on and know exactly what we're getting into. And we're going to be starting our events and starting our outreach almost immediately,
Mhm.
starting here in Alaska. So if you're in Alaska and if you want to get involved, please, 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 please let us know. Get on the website. You can sign up for the newsletter and just news updates, follow on Facebook, whatever. Just really get involved. If you have the heart for it and if you feel like God is just calling you to it, do it. Please, without the sound of desperation. She
That's
said
awesome.
sweetly.
Right? That's awesome. And you guys, so that website that she was talking about, that is www.angelsservices.com. And that is spelled AngelzServices.com. Angelservices.com. Angelzservices.com. And angels is not with an S, it's with a Z services.com. And so you can find all the things, sign up to join, sign up, to support. You can find all the things right there on that website. She's also on Facebook and Instagram at Angels with a Z Services. And that's on Facebook and Instagram. And then you can also email her as well at angelnav.business@gmail.com. So that's ANGELNAV.business@gmail.com. Any final words or anything else that you want to share before I wrap up with a few announcements of my own?
No, I don't think so. Do you have any more questions for me?
I think you've pretty much answered all the questions and you've gone into a lot of detail around what it is you're doing and all the things. Yeah, I don't think I have any other questions. Um, so you guys, I really encourage you guys to reach out to Angel. It's such a heartwarming thing that she is doing, and it warms my heart to know that there's people out there like you that's doing things like this for people. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. I see you. I love that. So anyhow, lastly, in wrapping up, everyone. So if you don't know me, my name is Ken Kleinberg, obviously, and I have lost 62 and a half pounds and I've kept it off for 6+ years now, all without a diet and having that be sustainable. I have a phenomenal, intensive little mini boot camp. It's an educational boot camp where I'm giving away my 3 secrets to help you break free from sugar addictions, break free from those snacking issues, hunger issues, and even to lose that last 20 to 30 pounds. And to be able to keep it off all in 3 short one-on-one sessions with me. You'll be equipped with an empowered mindset, number one. Number two, you are going to be equipped to spot the industry lies and avoid the common pitfalls. And number three, lastly, you will be equipped to see past the marketing deceptions in this industry. They put it all over their packaging, they put it all over the boxes and all the stuff. They make you think that what you're buying is healthy and a great decision, and they make you think that, the lower calorie option and all that stuff is a great healthy option. And you are making heartfelt choices at the store thinking that you're doing a good thing when all you're doing is buying into marketing deceptions. I teach you and show you how to see past all of that and empower you with a ground to stand on in which you'll never be moved again. You've got nothing to lose but those extra pounds. You've got everything to gain in the right way. And right now, my mini boot camp series is going for only $75. It normally is $97, but for the holiday season, it is $75. It is a steal, and you will walk away completely changed in such a good way and with so much more freedom that you've had before. So, with that, you'll find the link to join that boot camp in the description below of this video. You'll also find the description, Angel's bio, and all the links to be able to connect with her in the description below as well. I encourage you, again, reach out to Angel, go to her website, sign up to be one of their donors, and just dive in. Just do it. It's just such a good thing to do. With that, you guys have a great rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world and what time of day you're listening. And I will talk to you on the next expert interviews with Ken. Thank you so much, Angel. Thank you for coming on today. It's been a pleasure having you as a guest.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.